there, and welcome to Evening Star Tarot. I am Mandy, and today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading that is based on what are your spiritual gifts and what are you supposed to do with those spiritual gifts. So this is going to be a relatively quick reading, and what you're going to do is you're going to take a second and you're going to meditate, and you're going to feel which deck resonates with you. Don't think too hard on it, just go with what feels right. If it's deck number 1, 2, or 3, you can go ahead and you can go to the timestamp that is listed below to that corresponding card deck. Now, without further ado, let's just get right on into it. All right. So from what we have here is the first card is going to be talking about what your spiritual gift is. The second card clarifies what your spiritual gift is. And then the third card, it talks about what you're meant to do with your spiritual gift. So first and foremost, we'll come to this card here and we'll let that focus. It says trust the niggle. It's a very weird word. I don't know why it says niggle, but trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? To me, this feels like you're either a clairvoyant or a clairsentient being, meaning that those are your two gifts that you really do know. But from what I can tell, most likely, you're clairvoyant. You just know. Is it clairvoyant or claircognizant? It's one of those. It's the one that you just know. You have this gift of knowing, and you feel it in your gut. You feel it in your body. That's why I also say clairsentience may be another gift that you have, where you can sense emotion, you can sense feeling. You can sense when something is wrong and your body tells you. But most of all, I feel like you utilize your knowledge, and the knowledge that is just instantly comes to you from the heavens. That's what I feel in terms of that. It means that most likely you probably mistaken it for logic, but it's really not. It's more of a feeling of truth that you just know. So I would say it's more like claircognizance. Clairvoyance, I think, is more of like, I guess you can just tell the future. I don't know what's the truth, which one it is for sure, but I just know that you have the gift of knowing, and this is clarified by the Ace of Pentacles, and it's usually around financial matters. I feel like that's probably what you have your gift in, is just in terms of how to cultivate wealth and how to cultivate a good standing in life. I feel like there's just a knowing, like you have an ability to know how to develop wealth and knowledge, and developed a good standing or foundation in life. I feel like it's like you have a deep knowing, like an instant knowing for some reason, like you're able to tap into that particular I would say data set of information in the ether. Like it's like you're just, that's just where you know that information is coming from. It's like you're just so used to it. I don't know what it is, maybe a past life, or your spirit is just meant to portray information, logical information, to help build others up. And that further is shown by this card here, which is the Three of Cups. So it's just Spirit is just telling me that you're supposed to be sharing this information with those you care about, in jovial settings and settings with those that you love and care about, and in formal ways, not necessarily in more of a serious way. It's more informal. It's more like, oh, well, we're cool. Let me share this cup of knowledge I have for you, or just in conversation, normal conversation with your loved ones, you're like, yeah, no, that's not the right way to do it. Or, yeah, no, that's not what you should do. I have a feeling you need to do it this way because that's just the right way. So I feel like you're just a very logical person, and that what in that sometimes that gets confused with the truth, with you dipping into that spiritual knowledge. It's like you have the logical knowledge, but you also have that spiritual knowledge in terms of how to cultivate and manifest wealth and a good foundation for life. I feel like that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to help uplift others, to recognize that they too can have the life that they so desire and dream of. And that's really what I feel for deck card number 1. Yeah, your spiritual gift is of claircognizance and or clairvoyance. You just know. You have the gift of knowing, and the gift of receiving information, and delivering it to those that you care about. That's really what all I have for gift number 1. If that resonated with you and if that sounded like you, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, and like and subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next video. Bye. Okay, deck number 2. So deck number 2, here we have this card here talks about your spiritual gift. This talks about and clarifies what your spiritual gift is. And then this is the card on which Spirit is saying this is how you're going to utilize your spiritual gift for the betterment of all. So first and foremost, we'll start with this card, your spiritual gift, boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? This is telling me that your spiritual gift is that you're very empathic. I feel like you're also a very giving person. You see how like there's these people, they're just like trying to grab and take all the energy. Like it just tells me that you are just filled with so much to give to others. And the fact is that you have no problem doing so, but it's to the point where you're giving up more than you should, and there are leeches out there. So this is telling me that you're giving out so much of yourself to others, and there's others that are really ready to just take what you're giving, to the extent where you literally have to fight for your life. You have to fight for an ounce of space, an ounce of your time back, an ounce of your energy. It's like you have to say, okay, look, I already gave you my space. I already gave you my energy. I gave you what you needed. So now you're here trying to fight me for my energy. It's kind of like you're getting to that extent where you're like, I'm not going to put up with this. And so really your gift is about saying no. Your gift is about recognizing like, hey, I can give. I'm a giver. I am so empathic, and I want to make the world a better place, and those I love feel like they're taken care of, but not to the extent where I have to fight for my life. I have to fight and recognize like who I am amidst all of that. So really, Spirit is saying like the best way to do that, the best way to really use your gift is by using it on yourself. Look at him looking at the world with his mind on like where to go next. Like, use it on yourself. How can you pour into yourself? Like the way you're supposed to use your gift is not just on others, but also on yourself. Also on your growth and your freedom and your ability to figure out what your next move is. Your energy on yourself is the most precious thing. Because how can you give to others if you have nothing? If you don't even give to yourself, you'll be depleted. You won't have enough energy to go around. So really, like, if you really want to be, and there's nothing wrong with, being a giver and wanting to please others. There's nothing wrong with that. There's beauty in it, but there's also beauty in wanting to travel and explore the world and recharge your batteries and take that solo time for you and venture out and figure out what fuels you and brings inspiration to you. And pouring into yourself is where you'll have all those possibilities and those opportunities lined up for yourself because you chose to give it to you. You know, you're here giving all these opportunities, all of these possibilities and these ideas and thoughts and energy and just everything to others in wanting to do it. So like, look at them, like she wants to give it all. She wants to give it and share it with everyone, you know. But at the same time, it's like, hold up, like, I say when I want to give it. I say when I want to give my energy to you, not you coming and grabbing it whenever you feel like it. Like, that's just not how it works. So really, this is about your spiritual gift is that you are an empathic person, you have empathy, and you also have clairsentience. Like, you can feel others and what they need. I definitely feel clairsentience is that as well. And I feel like you know what it is that you need to do for yourself as well, rather than, you know, like when those moments, like when you're just giving and giving to others, it's like you feel it in your pits of your stomach that you have to like stop. You feel it, like your body's telling you, like, hey, like, this is killing you, man, like you gotta stop, you know. So really, your gift is clairsentience and also empathy. Like, you are I would feel like you're just a healer. You know, you're a light worker. You want to be the best that you can be for others. But you can't do that at the detriment of yourself. It's okay to choose you, you know, to really set those boundaries and create limitless boundaries for yourself. You know, like, you can't just take energy, but you can't just let people take energy from you. That's all I'm saying. So that's really all I got for, you know, your spiritual gifts. I hope this resonated with you and this, you know, made you think about who you are and what you have been doing. So really, what you think is a weakness is really your strength. You just have to now use your strength towards you rather than just using it toward people who are just going to, one, be a bottomless well, and two, you know, just take and not give back in return. So sometimes that can be a huge energetic depletion. So just give to yourself, you know, just give to yourself what you need. But that's pretty much all I have. If you liked this and it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe if you want any more and further videos. But as always, it's always nice to see you here, and take care. Bye. All right, deck number 3. Now, deck number 3, now this energy is very like deep, intense. It's beautiful. So if you chose deck number 3 off the bat, beautiful energy. I have to say you're definitely a light bringer, a healer. I will say that I also believe that you are a star seed. I feel that by star seed, I mean like Lemuria. We'll pull this card up, but before we get into that, I feel like there is perhaps a past life in which you were, you know, living in a advanced civilization, which is aka Lemuria, or another ancient civilization that had reached their apex, and they know the truth of Earth and reality as it is. I feel like you have a deep knowing, and you're attracted to crystals and meditation and new agey, but it's more so just you're just awakened, I would say, if you had chosen this. So your spiritual gift here is really about being a bringer of light. And so this first card here is what your spiritual gift is. And then there's the high priestess that clarifies it. And then we have here the how to utilize your spiritual gift. So first and foremost, Lemuria here is the card that came out. And Lemuria is about creating heaven on earth. It's happening. This card is just talking about this intense or deep realization, like you have a deep knowing of the truth of reality as it is, and the truth of how humanity can create their own reality. So you have a deep sense of clear sentience, clear cognizance. I feel like you also have clear audience is another where you hear spirit, and also clairvoyance. So I feel like you are very in touch with all of your intuitive capabilities in those types of categories. But and that's further clarified by this high priestess, which talks about intuition and talks about insight and knowing and being in touch with your intuition, intuitive messages. So really, like, your gifts, like, you're a very spiritual person. If you've chosen deck number 3, you're a very spiritual person, and you have this innate desire to create a heaven on earth. And it's just a knowing. So I feel like your spiritual gift is meant to spread light and truth to others, and to have them recognize that they too can create a heaven on earth. Not just, heaven is not just external. Heaven can also be created in your day to day. Now, of course, there are factors we cannot control, but what we can control is how we react to them, 1. And 2, we can choose how we perceive or choose to perceive multiple scenarios of a situation rather than just one way, because not one way is there in any form of situation. There's never just one way or one reasoning behind anything. So that's where I get with that. And Spirit's saying that you're meant to use this gift to help heal others from their past. So this card is talking about past relationships, people coming forward from the past for reconciliation. Perhaps you're meant to help heal others in terms of helping them to see the brighter side of a situation so that they can in turn heal themselves from past hurt and things that hold them back. Even if it means visualizing, speaking to that individual and saying that you forgive them, or that you're apologizing to them in whatever that may look like. Because visualization is really how we create. Because we can't create without visualization, right? And this is how I feel like you think. Like, you cannot create, you cannot make something come to reality without creation in the mind. Visualization, creation in the mind is visualization. And in order for it to come to reality, visualization, has to be put into action, therefore creating a reality. So it's really about it's really what you believe in, whatever you choose to change in your mind, whatever is in your mind, whatever you constantly think about will become your reality. And you're very advanced, I feel like this energy is a very advanced energy, a very intuitively advanced energy, and very open to the possibilities that life has to offer, in terms of also imparting that information to others so that they can learn as well. So that's pretty much all I have for you. That was a very straightforward and very deep energy that I was able to dip into, and it was very beautiful. So thank you for clicking this deck if you did. If you found that it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, and also like and subscribe for any more future content that I will be producing.